Hi, Rich Leiter here, and welcome to my channel. Okay, since I spent the last couple of videos talking about the limits of knowledge, what we can know and what we can't know, and about this whole general concept of enlightenment, I thought I would end this series of videos with a poem that I've written, and the poem is called Enlightenment. Never knew who he was, never knew where he fit into the world, never attached himself to any particular group or to any particular belief system, although, believe me, he certainly wanted to attach himself to some group or to some belief system, particularly when he was a young man. However, he just couldn't bring himself to do it, ever. He would listen, though. Oh, he was a great listener, very serious, very intense, very respectful. Oh, yes. Very respectful. Never interrupted anybody while they were in the midst of explaining to him how their way was the only way. And he was a great reader, too. Great listener, great reader, which should actually come as no surprise to anybody, seeing as how the two are the same. Yes, he read a lot. He read constantly, continually, voluminously, passionately. So much so, in fact, so that he actually became what you might call the eternal schoolboy, or the eternal student. People like it when you become the eternal student, particularly old people. They feel safe around you. They feel protected around you because they know that you are not going to harm them. You are not going to kill them. You're not going to rape them. You're not going to cheat them. You're not going to steal from them. After all, how can an eternal schoolboy do any of these disagreeable, unpleasant things, or even have the time to think about doing any of them, when his nose is permanently buried in some eternal school book? Now, there are many upsides to being an eternal student. Chief among them being that you don't really have to experience too many of the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, because you're just too busy reading about them to experience any of them head on. In other words, it's a very insulative, cozy position to be in, being an eternal student or an eternal schoolboy. And the downsides to being an eternal student? Well, there's really only one downside to it, and that would be, alas, graduation day. He didn't want to graduate. He really didn't. He would have much preferred remaining the eternal student for the rest of his eternal student school days. However, time, as they say, marches on, right? Tempus fugit, tempus fugit. Damn it. No longer the eternal schoolboy, untethered from his beloved school books, he found himself merely floating again within the formless, shapeless, fluid ether. Why is the formless, shapeless, fluid ether so intolerable to us? Such a horror to us? And why is not knowing why also such a horror to us? Man is limited. He needs a tether. Oh, please, please, put on my leash, Master. Shackle me, please. I feel so naked without it. It wasn't exactly what you'd call growth. It was more like anti-growth, or reverse growth, or growth turned on top of its head. It wasn't a miracle, because there are no miracles. There is only the unending forever search for miracles, which, very conveniently, I might add, never actually seem to arrive. Now, do they? And it wasn't enlightenment either. I mean, what the hell is enlightenment anyway? I don't know. Do you know? There was just the elimination of all of the loose talk concerning the word. That was all. The air is clearer now. The sky is bluer now. The sharp edges of things seem even sharper now. And the dull, pleasant, round faces do not bother him quite as much as they used to.